Hey guys, it's Afu from Afro House Summit in Amsterdam, presented to you by My The Side of the Moon and Vibora. We're here today with
Amémé.
Yes, welcome Amémé. How you
Thank
doing?
you, Afu. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
Welcome to Afro House Summit. We're happy to have you here. We have a few questions for you today.
Please.
We're going to start off with something very easy,
Okay.
which is how can artists send you promos or get in touch with you for music?
Okay, so I think there's two answers to that, right? There's the generic answer, which is obviously the official demo email, which is demos@onetribenyc.com, which we always share it with everybody, and we do get a lot of like promos. And we have a dedicated team for that, and usually it alternates between myself and one of my other DJs that is part of like the tribe. Baron, shout out. But honestly, I will give you the answer that no one gave me a couple of years ago. Just be resilient, try to get to me.
Okay.
Because the reality is that like I've met people in the past where like I've seen their face many times, and then it was just like, yo, Amémé, this is like, you really gotta listen. And like there was like an impact somehow, like where like I went home and I was like, you know what? I spoke to that guy earlier. Let me check that record to see if that record is as good as like that impact that I had. So, but obviously like, the emails is open and we check it every week. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
So persistence is key. Yeah. Okay. Next question. How has ADE been for you so far? And what do you think of the concept of Afro House Summit?
So obviously this is I think my fourth ADE, and every ADE somehow is different, right? I think this year, last year, the last 2 years we had a residency with my label One Tribe, so ADE has been kind of like I would say like a ground where I get to recap the year, because obviously there's a relationship that I myself and my label we've built with the local community in Amsterdam, but there's also the international side of it where I get to bump into all my fellow DJ friends, because obviously like I'm always on the road, I'm moving a lot, and I think throughout the last couple of years I've made a lot of friends in the industry, so it's a lot of like catching up. Obviously a lot of industry labels, brands, and I really take it as an opportunity just to show my face around, and you'll be surprised, man. Like it doesn't matter how big or like how established you are, just having your face around for people to see, hey, I saw. You'll be surprised how far it goes. Because someone might be curating a lineup for like a major festival next year, or looking for a collaborator on a remix or something, and just them seeing you. So I never take that for granted, and sometimes I'm like, oh God, I want to relax right now. But like, you know what? No, you got 2 more meetings. Let's go, So,
Fair enough.
just being out there and just like never taking it for granted. Just putting myself out there.
All right. Fair enough. So nowadays it seems like in Afro House, just you add a couple of African percussion and it becomes an Afro House track. So what's your take on this, and how do you see the sound evolving at the moment?
Okay, so I think with evolution and expansion, there's always a risk. Just in a general, term, like with anytime you have something that grows, there's a risk that quality goes down, because obviously it goes to the mass, and especially if it's something that is cultural and that is, I'll say as cultural as Afro House. I think that's where today, obviously, like, we've seen the major rise that Afro House had, thanks to guys like Can Music. Obviously, Black Coffee has been like a major, one of the biggest driver of the genre. And then you see this new wave of like new producers, obviously a lot of edits, and then, just to quote you again, sample packs, generic, percussions.
Yeah.
And I think I like to look at it in a way where first of all, I always like to look at things from a positive standpoint first, and then I look at the opportunity. So on a positive standpoint, I think it's good for all of us because the cake just got bigger. You know, there's more eyes on the term, on the music. You know, promoters are booking more DJs because when you think about it, like when a genre explodes like this, right? You have guys that are on top that are super expensive or like they're super busy. So like there's a lot of promoters that need to do concessions and like look a bit outside of the box to find other DJs that fit into the into the criteria of of what that is. Now, on the opportunity side, yeah, the quality goes down. I am not necessarily impressed necessarily on what's going on a general sense because I come from an era where like everyone has his own style of making music. It was a lot more tailored. People were recording drums. They were, it wasn't like, oh, okay, let's chase the next sample pack and then like, you go on Beatport and 10 out of 12 releases are like all the same drums and the same percussion. So identity just gets lost into all of this. But there are players out there that are keeping originality alive. It's a bit risky because obviously, like if you want to be original and stick to your own identity musically, it's a bit risky, right? Because I think the general public is not like the consumers of electronic music today is not what it used to be 10, 15 years ago, right? People like to listen or stick to what they feel comfortable or what they know. That's why you can see like it's usually the same kind of style of music that are like making it to the top 10. It's always, you look at Move, you look at Ugel's record, which are great records, but they're very similar, in the DNA level. And I always encourage people, man. I'm like, listen, have a little bit of courage, because I think if you wanna step up to the next level, you will have to define yourself within your own lane, But it's not easy because I think today it's hard to make an original record and be received as much as like an edit,
right,
or a track that have had the same percussion as the last 10 hit songs that people, oh, I recognize these percussions. Oh yeah, this must be good, Right. So it's a bit challenging. So I don't point fingers to be like, oh yeah, no. Listen, to each his own. But I think at this point I think it's time now to get serious again. Yeah, let's get serious again. Let's work more on originality. Let's reward the DJs and producers that are doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I think as DJs, like we need to have those conversations. Like are we rewarding the DJs that are working on original music that are like not out there for everybody? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
all right, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so something a bit different.
Yeah.
What's your go-to dish when you're on tour? What's your staple?
Bro, pasta.
Pasta.
Yeah. You can't get wrong. You can't go wrong with pasta. Pasta is always, and it's always like a bolognese or something, because I'm like, all right, it's meat. It can't get that bad, right? So yeah, and then a little ice cream on the side. I'm a big sweet tooth, so it's like I have to slow down a little bit, but like, yeah, I'm very guilty. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, so do you have any big plans for 2026 that you can share with us? Anything we can anticipate from you?
There's a lot of things, right? This 2025 has been a very interesting year. I'm very grateful to still be here. It's a very competitive place, dude. It's like, I feel like this industry is growing at an exponential. Every week there's 100,000 new DJs,
100%.
So grateful to still be here. I think I released less music this year. I was a lot on the road, but now I've been very much getting back into like my creative mode now, working on a couple of very interesting projects, possibly album style. Again, there's a lot of conversations happening right now in terms of what that direction things would take. I'm sitting on a lot of new music, and I think right now I'm just like with my team, we're just trying to figure it out in what format we're trying to communicate it to the you know to the public.
Yeah.
Because I think today, people consume music very differently. If you just throw an album out there, you might just end up with some question marks.
True.
So, but definitely a lot of movement with the label One Tribe, and yeah, a lot of. I think I'm shifting more toward quality versus quantity.
Okay.
Because the last couple of years I was playing a lot of shows, so now I'm working on my own concept for Amémé. Welcome to Afro House. And yeah, so just I guess bigger, better, more quality.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So your sets usually have really good energy.
Yeah.
What is this secret for you when it comes to reading the crowd and
Yeah.
connecting to the crowd on energy level?
I think honestly the crowd reads out of your confidence as a DJ. And I think there was a time where I was following the crowd when I was DJing, right? Technically I was like, oh God. So let's say now if the DJ before me was playing out at 127 BPM, I would try to match that energy, which in all rights, I think a great DJ should be able to adapt. But I've also been in positions where I saw some of the craziest things. I think I remember one day, I think I saw Black Coffee. We were playing in Belgium at Extrema Festival, and Hot Since 82, Tech House DJ, was playing before him. Hot Since 82 was playing at 128 BPM. When Black Coffee jumped on it, he brought it down all the way to 122 and crushed it. So from that day, that really gave me a different perspective on what DJing is, right? You can either get in there and try to adapt, or you can walk in there and they follow you. And I think these days I'm more toward a journey where I am inviting people within my own universe,
Yeah.
So and it's challenging because you gotta have confidence, because the first 3 tracks people might look at you like you're crazy.
Right.
They're like, yeah, why did you just bring it all the way from 127, 126? Because it's all slow and stuff. But I think with intention, confidence, and preparation, anything is possible. So I think actually, yeah.
That's a great response for anyone listening. So you've been one of the key names pushing the Afro House movement.
Thank you.
Worldwide.
Thank you.
What does this cultural mean to you personally? What does that mean to you?
Listen, I remember when I first started DJing, and before I discovered Afro House, and I got into the electronic music world. There was always a sense. There was always something missing for me. There was a sense of identity that I was kind of missing within the music. Because it felt like I was in someone else's universe. I was born in West Africa. I lived 17 years in between Benin and Nigeria. So you can imagine how much I've been exposed to. And I mean, you live in Africa, so you can see it's like we get music from everywhere. It's like you look at Congo, there's Ndombolo on this side, there's Ivory Coast, there's Coupe de Calais, there's Makossa, there's so much music. Africa is so rich in music. So when I discovered Afro House, it felt like right at home. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I remember back then, it was like the place where people, and it wasn't just about Africans playing Afro House. I think there were a lot of players that were not Africans that were part of the whole movement. Yeah. But it meant a lot more to them than just oh, this is a cool trend, let me jump on it. It was a lifestyle, it was a community, and you could hear it through the music. There were personalities in there. There were stories in there. Yeah. And for me today, I don't think it's completely lost, right? Just like I said earlier, I think in growth, this is inevitable, it's going to happen. But I think it's up to us, right? To you guys, to us, to all of us, that understand what the true meaning of Afro House is, to just keep championing it, and I think things will come back full circle, because it goes and it always comes back. So, yeah.
Great. So, if you could describe your sound in 3 words,
Yeah.
what would those words be?
So, dynamic, sexy,
Great.
and African.
That's a good answer. Yeah, I would say for myself as well. I would describe your sound as that. As
Oh,
well.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I mean, I think like I always get that like this very specific feedback. God, the music is so energetic, you know. And I think when people hear Afro House, they think like that flowy vibe, and they come, they're like, yo, this is like Afro House with muscles. You know, I haven't heard one guy say that. So that's the dynamic part. I think sexy is like, I love grooves, I love melodies, I love like a nice vocal. It's like it has to be sexy, man, because yo, the dance floor is a place where people connect, and like the energy has to be great, you know, beautiful, you know, and African obviously because you know that's my heritage. So
That's what we're presenting.
exactly.
Yeah, 100%. All right. So, what's the most memorable moment that you've had behind the decks this year?
That's the most memorable moment. Behind the deck. Oh, that's a tough question. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, like I've had a lot of amazing gigs, but I've also had like few shitty gigs. You know what I'm saying? It happens to all of us. You just don't see it on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think one thing that I've seen that is pretty consistent is just my reaction toward that, you know? Because I feel like even if I get into a room and there's 10 people on the dance floor, I owe it to those 10 people to go in there and just give it my all, right? Yeah. So I always, when I'm if I play a set at a festival and then like it's not as full, I think I'm at a place of maturity where I'm like, listen, you and me, I'm really good at making eye contact with people and just like giving them what they need. So it's like, it's just hard for me just to take one set apart. I think honestly, I really, and this is not just to be like, just to talk BS. I'm really trying my best to like make every moment memorable. Right. But if I have to go back, yo, Patrick, what do you think? Anything? Huh? No, like, is there any show that for you that stood up for you in this year and all the ones that we shot? I mean, Tomorrowland was iconic, but Tomorrowland itself, it's a
as a festival. Yeah.
But I gotta tell you something, Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say Coachella because you know I'm rarely stressed. I rarely have like anxiety to play in front of a crowd, but I think Coachella is the one place where like I think when I was putting the first track and I was mixing the second track, I was scared. No, bro, I was scared. I was in my head like not scared, but I was like, gosh, like I hope nothing goes wrong.
Conscious, yeah.
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah. So I think in terms of that, yeah. Okay. But yeah, because I mean it's a big deal, you know. So
awesome.
Yeah.
It was your first time at Coachella?
No, second.
Second?
Yeah.
All right, well done.
Yeah.
So last question: if you weren't a DJ or producer, what do you feel like you would be as a profession at the moment?
If I was not a DJ,
yeah,
a doctor.
A doctor?
Yeah. Funny enough, I actually studied biology and chemistry, and I studied pre-med for 3 years before shifting to finance. So I was actually supposed to become a doctor.
Amazing.
So and yeah, it was always my like a calling, and I think I was pretty good at science when I was growing up, and obviously you know African parents, right? Yeah, you're gonna be a doctor.
Of course.
But you know, moved to New York and things just quickly just took a different turn. You know, like partying a lot, just going out there, and I'm like, God, like I don't know if I can. Being a doctor is a lot of sacrifice, and obviously I have major respect for the profession, but I think I'm bringing a different kind of healings to people these days.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it. That's all that we have for today. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you.
We have Amémé here.
Thank you, Afro.
Thank you for coming too. And yeah, we're back at Afro House Summit in Amsterdam. We have lots more going on, and we'll catch you soon.
Cheers.